Coastal ecosystems are profoundly important for all of humanity. With a huge amount of our population living in the coast, we rely on coastal systems for food, for our economy, for recreation, for culture, for spiritual connections, right? And yet, when it comes to coastal ecosystems, they are vastly understudied, and they are super dynamic systems that are very important.
It turns out that coastal ecosystems are particularly efficient at sequestering and storing carbon. These coastal blue carbon ecosystems, as we call them, make up a really, really small percent of the earth and ocean surface, but they actually store about 50%, we think, of total ocean carbon. So if we're looking to fight climate change, reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, it behooves us to protect these systems because they're really, really good at doing that.
So this project is aimed in two different ways. One is to help solve this issue that data on coastal ecosystems falls woefully short compared to other places. And two, the fundamental way we do science is biased and not equitable. What we understand primarily about the world is largely driven by institutions with a lot of money.
We wanted to change that, and we wanted to make science more accessible. Leaning on the tenets of the share economy, can we create a model where we develop and package sensors that we can get into the hands of more people?
What we're doing is we're making these novel sensors with off-the-shelf components that are much cheaper than the current gold standards. And then the idea is we can take those sensors and distribute them to those who want to use them.
Salt marshes, they exist in lots of other places, but to me, they're a very quintessentially New England place. The sensors that we're developing measure CO2 in air. And so salt marshes are, one of the best carbon sequestering coastal ecosystems. We know that, but they also are relatively easy to access. So it's a little bit easier place to test electronics. Okay, so there's 2 battery packs right now. Eventually I'd like to get this down to 1, but once it's on, for now, they just get Velcroed into the little chambers. Okay. That's your setup.
We have to make sure we're collecting good data. We have to give people confidence in those data. Then that involves going to the field, putting down the chambers, making these measurements.
These sensors measure the CO2 concentration in the air. And when we put them inside a chamber over a marsh or over the water, how that concentration changes helps us determine whether or not these systems are sources or sinks of a greenhouse gas.
Right now, we're obviously just starting out on this, right? So we're working with some of our local colleagues here.
I came into it expecting it to be novel and cool and very useful, and it's that and more. So I can see this being used all sorts of different ways, and I think it's got a lot of potential. I want to use it now.
There are for sure scientists right now who would like to be measuring these fluxes for work and questions that they currently have. But you can also imagine that there may be citizen scientists or a new undergraduate, community colleges, a nonprofit group. Maybe it's a birder who is out on the salt marsh all the time. And it's I'm curious, I want to help restore these systems. I will collect these data for you. By providing access to sensors, that means we can get more people asking and answering questions, which means we broaden our understanding of the world, and we have more data to do better protection, management, and restoration of coastal ecosystems.